day is the way my day is gonna be. Oh, it's not my day is the way my day is gonna be. It's up to me to be thankful. It's up to me to be kind. It's up to me to be thankful. It's up to me. It's up to me. Let's stand and let's sing this awesome song together. I love my life. Here we go. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. You sing it now. Here we go. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day when I wake, there's a choice I can make to be glad or be sad, to forgive or stay mad. It's all up to me. What I focus on will be in my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. And when clouds fill the sky, I know I'll get by. When I see all that's right, dark turns to light. Give thanks and I say, this is my lucky day. I'm alive. And every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life. Every day I wake up and I say, today I love my life.
Okay, let's just do it once all together. I love my life. You know, if we would do that every morning when we get up, I've just talked to a couple people about that. It makes your whole day better when you get up and say, I'm so happy to be alive and I love my life. So that's another assignment. So, good morning, friends. It's so nice to see so many beautiful souls and faces out there. And thank you, each and every one, for being here. And for you who don't know, my name is Susan, and I'm your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I'm privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you're meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of the principles on the back of your program. Please join me now in reading them. I believe there is an intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Okay. And thank you to everyone that has made this service possible, including our musicians, and Vicky's here with us today. And you guys know that kitty cats are very near and dear to my heart, and she is fostering 9 kitties. 8 of them are tiny ones. She's special, and she's done this for over a year, off and on and off and on. She brings these babies home and feeds them every 4 hours with a dropper. If you would please silence your telephone or any other electronic device you have with you.
If you are joining us for the first time, or maybe after a while, the words for our Namaste song are inside the first page of your bulletin. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Louise, and I am your practitioner today, contrary to what your program says. Please keep Rosie in your prayers. She's okay, but she just has a few medical procedures this month, so we won't see her up on the podium. So as practitioners, you know, we pray for you using affirmative prayer, and that is a very powerful process that shifts our consciousness so that we are open and available to accept the good that is already present in your life and our lives, all of our lives. If you would like prayer today, it is the first Sunday of the month, and so we have miraculous moments. I'm hoping John is available as well. He usually is. So please feel free to walk up to either of us, and we'll do a 1 or 2 minute prayer with you. So I'm going to light the service candle, just knowing that we light this because we are each a light that goes out into the world. And just know that each one of us has that light. So just take a deep breath and know with me that there is one life, one power, one presence, and I choose today to call this God. This one all-encompassing power and presence nourishes our minds, our bodies, and our souls. The presence of spirit and love being everywhere is with you and me right here and right now. This present is you and me, and spirit is flowing in and through each one of us today. So I claim and I know that today that this good, this God, is unfolding perfectly, and that this service today is unfolding perfectly in the minds of God, in the mind of God, and in our minds too. And I am so grateful for Reverend Donna's words that bless and enlighten us. I know that all words of faith are affirmed by the action of law and love, and I say yes, and so it is. So today my reading is Prayer as Art and Science, and I got most of this out of one of our Science of Mind magazines. I think it was a couple of years ago. The purpose of prayer and faith is to seek conscious union with this indwelling presence. Always your prayer will be as effective as your faith. There is a law of mind that responds to your faith. You need have no anxious thought concerning the operation of the law, for the law will always respond. This is why Jesus said that it is done unto you as you believe. If you would pray and prosper, you must believe that the Spirit is willing and able to make the gift. But since the Spirit can only give what you take, and since this is taking a mental act, you must train your mind to believe and accept. This is the secret of the power of prayer. The reflection of an image in a mirror is an exact likeness of the image which is held before the mirror. So the law of good reflects back to you a likeness of the images of your thought. Thus, we are told that we reflect the glory of God, but too often we reflect the fear and limitation of man rather than the glory of God. Prayer is a mirror reflecting the images of your thought through the law of good into your outward experiences. What are you reflecting? The glory of God or the confusion of man? Prayer does not concentrate or create a spiritual power. It is attention and not concentration. Willingness, there we go, and not will. The Spirit never exerts effort. Spiritual communion is meant to be relaxing. Prayer is more than an intellectual thing. It is a thing of feeling, a creative act. Just as an artist feels beauty rather than sees it, so we feel the divine presence as warmth, color, and life, ever responding to us. Prayer is, in fact, both an art and a science. Scientifically, it has form. Artistically, it has color and feeling and conviction. This feeling rises out of an inner awareness. There is something within you which knew reality long before your conscious intelligence was ever born. You can feel your way back to this original creative genius of the, I'm going to start again. You can feel your way back to this original creative genius of the universe, the infinite artist whose creations are spread throughout all time and space. Spiritual communion enters into the joy of recognition, of acceptance, and anticipates that the divine abundance will provide a more lavish supply than you have ever conceived of or dreamed of. Spiritual communion places its bowl of acceptance under the ever-pouring horn of plenty, and it places its bowl right side up rather than upside down. The Spirit can only give you what you take, and since this taking is an act of consciousness, you must be actively aware of the presence of your desire. You must know that the gift is made even before you see it, and you must receive this gift. Namaste. So I take this candle and I hold the high watch for each and every one of you here and those that are online and actually our whole community.
This is a song that Vicki and I wrote together. This is called A Life of Peace. Vicki started, and I went right along, and we collaborated one beautiful sunny day at her place, and we love getting together to play, and songwrite together. And this is the most recent one.
Yes.
I think we need to work on
do
that.
more.
Yeah.
Will you take my hand and hold it? Will you live a life of peace? Will you take my hand and hold it? Knowing that together we can build a better world. Can you love one another? Can you give with all your heart? Can you love one another, knowing that by loving we can heal a wounded world? We're here to make things better for each and every one. A brighter day comes shining with the rising of the sun. Do you embrace all other beings? Do you accept them as they are? Do you embrace all other beings, knowing there's a beauty in the difference in us all, knowing there's a beauty in the difference in us all. Thank you.
It's always so wonderful to have Vicki come join us. She's been with us a long time. And I do want to thank the writers group for their participation last week. Again, it is, by the way, it is on our YouTube, so you can either get that through our website or you can go to youtube.com and search CSLAZ, and you'll find it. And so it's worth listening to again because they do good work. Okay, our new theme for August, this is given to us by our home office, is My Passion, My Purpose. And I do like this because I'm reminded that I have lived both my passion and my purpose ever since I stepped through the doors of Founders Church in 1971. You know, I was drawn to the new ideas I was hearing and jumped into it with both feet. I was ultimately hired to be the secretary to Dr. William Hornaday, who was the man that Dr. Holmes designated to be his successor. And as I took the classes that would ultimately lead me into the ministry, I was taught by I didn't meet Ernest Holmes, but I was taught by that next generation. I mean, some incredible teachers. This was all lecture series. And we were in Los Angeles where there was a plethora of Science of Mind churches. And so I had phenomenal teachers every single week. And then when Dr. Hornaday made his transition in 1992, I stayed on under the new minister, Reverend Arthur Chang. And one of the things that I say, and I want to share it with you, is that I believe that I have sat at the feet of two masters. Reverend Hornaday was a basic science of mind kind of guy, and he taught the basics of science of mind, and I learned it well from him. And then Reverend Chang had a broad-brushed approach to our philosophy, so he turned me on to people like Joseph Campbell, Emily Dickinson. He turned me on to the Eastern philosophies, you know, that are so much a part of our teaching. So I feel that I have lived my purpose and my passion. And after leaving Founders for Florida, I felt like a bridge where I could carry forward the wisdom that I had received from so many. So today I'm still filled with that passion and with that purpose, although I'm slowed a bit by the years. As we all are, except there's a few who are younger than most of us. So our topic from our home office is awakening to your passion. But most of us are at the age where we know what our passions are. You know, a few weeks ago, I talked about, in the e-news, I talked about Mary Silvestri, who had a long time dream of becoming a rockette. And her dream came true because she was invited to Radio City Music Hall. She didn't make the cut, but she was thrilled to be in the midst of the action, and she encouraged the other dancers. And everybody was moved by Mary and all the things that she had to say. And some of the dancers showed her a few moves so she could actually, you know, hold hands and participate like rockettes do. And she was thrilled. So it's never too late to fulfill your passion, even if it takes a few turns to get there. Mary Silvestri is 92 years old. So I was thinking about, you know, as I said, most of us have lived or are living our purpose. And as I thought about our topic, awakening to your passion, it didn't seem to fit for us. So yeah, I'm going to change it. And I'm changing it from awakening to your passion to from ambition to meaning. In the second half of life, Angeles Arian begins her book with these words. The Bushman storytellers talk about two kinds of hunger. They say there's a physical hunger, then what they call the great hunger. That is the hunger for meaning. There is only one thing that is truly insufferable, and that is a life without meaning. There is nothing wrong with the search for happiness, but there is something great, meaning, which transfigures all. When you have meaning, you are content, you belong. When I was about to turn 50, there was a minister that I really, really admired, Reverend Linda McNamara. At that point, she was minister of the Whittier Church. And she came up to me when I was talking about turning 50 and what do I do. And she offered to facilitate an initiation into wise women. So there were 10, 12 women, all ministers. We met for an overnight stay at Glen Ivy Hot Springs. And then Reverend Linda took us through several experiential exercises that helped us bond and deepen in understanding ourselves and each other. And then our time together culminated when we created a threshold where all the women under 50 stood on one side and all the women over 50 stood on the other. And the women under 50 each presented me with a gift, not something that they bought. Somebody presented a leaf and what it meant to them. Somebody wrote a poem. Somebody wrote a few words about what I had meant to them. Gifts like that. Then I stepped over the threshold, and I was welcomed by those over 50. One of the ministers had a vial of water from the River Jordan, and she baptized me as a sister wise woman. So it was an incredible experience, and it changed my mind about aging as a negative process. So I have come to believe that while purpose is significant, it's what gives my life meaning that is most important to me. And so that's our focus today, from ambition to meaning. And I was thinking about Reverend Peggy Bailey, who spoke for us a few months ago and was our assistant minister a long time ago, because she told me, I have really found my passion and purpose in being a minister, but I find meaning being with my grandchildren. So she has chosen to be a wise woman to these people, to mentor them, to be a soft place for them to land. And to her, that has more significance than the purpose and passion of her ministry. Angelos Arian says we can accomplish nothing meaningful during the second half of life unless we reconnect our search for happiness with values that support our character and moral fiber. Only then can we assume the wisdom mantle of the elder and become a resource of compassion, insight, and clarity. If we truly understand what is required of us at this stage, we are blessed with an enormous opportunity to develop and embody wisdom and character. And because of our increased longevity, for the first time in history, we also have the opportunity to create a map of spiritual maturity for future generations to use as they enter their own later years. So I think we can kind of feel this idea of shifting from ambition, or shifting even from purpose to meaning. It's a subtle shift, but I think it's a significant one. Our previous desires for attainment of power, money, strategic relationships are diminished, and our need to be authentically fulfilled rises within us. And in this process, everything comes up for review. This shift from ambition to meaning may also be looked upon as a shift from ego to essence. Most of us lived the first half of our lives in the ego world. Appearances were important. As a kid, I can remember my mother saying to me, if I'd done something stupid, what will the neighbors think? When I was the first one in the family to get a divorce, she says, what am I going to tell the family? In other words, my failure as a daughter or wife held a huge impact on her appearance as a good parent. And I think we were all kind of like that. How well we did in school, how popular we were, how we succeeded in getting jobs and promotions, how well behaved were our children. Those are all ways that reflected whether we had done our job as good adults. And these are all ego identifications. In his book, Shadow Dance, David Riccio creates an acronym for the ego's face: fear, attachment, control, entitlement. F-A-C-E, face. So as you and I move from ambition to meaning, from ego to essence, we need to look at where we're holding on to fear, attachment, control, or entitlement. And what is the new face, the new identity that we will incorporate as we incorporate meaning into our lives. So I want to take a look at moving from these things. We're going to move from fear to curiosity, from attachment to letting go, from control to trust, and from entitlement to humility. From fear to curiosity. When you and I live from ego, then fear takes a dominant role. The things we say, think, and do are often motivated by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of what the neighbors will think. So now, with our experience and wisdom, we can take a second look at those things which have appeared fearful and see them from a different light. We know that many of the things we were afraid of as young adults either didn't happen, or if they did, often created a better experience. I remember, my ex-husband was an aerospace engineer in the 70s when everybody was being laid off. And of course, he was afraid, and he was one of the ones that was laid off. But he went on to create his own business, doing exactly what he wanted to do in the field of computer animation. The exact opposite of aerospace engineering. So when we let go of that fear, it gives spirit a hole that can be filled with something much better. Jesus told his disciples, and it's a message to each and every one of us, fear not, little flock, for it is a Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. But like Louise said, are we willing to take it? Are we willing to receive it? Or are we letting our ego fear stand in the way? So that's my assignment. This week, let's look at the ways that we may not be accepting God's gifts. Where are we letting our fear stand in the way of our curiosity and our true spiritual unfoldment? And the second one is from attachment to letting go. I believe that when we are attached to someone or something, then we can't truly love it. Attachment comes from our ego world, and it keeps the true essence of that thing or person in the shadows. That I am reading now, Kinship with All Light, because I talked last week about the story of Strongheart, or week before. And Strongheart was a movie dog. But Alan Boone, who kept him for a while, found that he had in his head what a dog should be and what a dog and man should be in relationship. And it wasn't like that. When he let go and allowed that dog to teach him, then they created a bond that was absolutely unbeatable. Attachment comes from our ego world. And it keeps the true essence of that thing or person in the shadows. Angela Sarian says the benefits of non-attachment are many. It opens the door to unconditional love. It implies deep faith and trust in life that allow relationships and events to unfold without interference or control. It's not to be confused with indifference or lack of caring, nor is it a deficiency of commitment. Instead, it is the practice of compassionate acceptance. The third one is from control to trust. In our earlier years, it was important to be in control. We were in control of our children so they wouldn't harm themselves. We were in control of our employees so they would do a good job and we would get the promotion. It was important that we made things happen. For most of us, as we age, there's a natural transition into a more spiritual view of life. From our experience, we know that even if we controlled our kids, they would still fall and skin their knees. Even if we ran our department smoothly, we still could be downsized. So I think in hindsight, we probably realized that we were never in control as we thought. From a spiritual perspective, and certainly from a science of mind perspective, we learned that we are part of something bigger that knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So our job then becomes listening to that inner voice that is in harmony with this bigger something. Ernest Holmes says the highest attitude of mind from which all else springs is one of perfect calm and absolute trust in spirit. Trust is another way of letting go. It's a deep inner knowing that the power, the love, and the presence that keeps the planets and the galaxies in their orbits is the power that resides within you and me. And trusting that process allows us to move into our own self-awareness, our own joy, and our own sense of both purpose and meaning. Holmes goes on to say the great identification then is to come to believe with absolute certainty that there is something in you that is divine, it is eternal, it is transcendent, it is immanent. Gradually chip away everything that would hide the side of the integrity of your own soul. It's the only thing you have. It's the only thing you brought with you and the only thing you will take with you into the beyond. That's the starting point. Trust yourself. Believe in yourself because you believe in God. So in changing our identity from ego to essence, we stop our control and step into trust. I love what my friend Reverend Maria Clementi says. She says, we don't need to make things happen. We just need to make them welcome. Trusting spirit, then, we welcome the experiences of our lives and the joy that they bring. And we find a deeper meaning in all of those experiences. And the fourth one, from entitlement to humility, that's the final letter on the E on our face of ego, is entitlement. To be entitled to something means that we have a right to it. We lay a claim on it. It's actually the need to be special. Yeah, I remember this so well. As the Agape Church was growing, Dr. Michael Beckwith talked about the problems of entitlement. Some of those who were with him from the beginning were having a hard time with growth. They would come to church, for example, expecting to sit in their chair, and it was taken. So the congregation did a lot of visioning around this aspect of their growth. If they were to grow, then they were going to have to give up their right to be special and replace it with a generosity and loving inclusion. In this sense, humility is not lowly or apologetic. It is rather the meekness that Jesus talked about when he said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." And Ernest Holmes says, when Jesus said that the meek inherit the earth, he was not saying that we have to be wishy-washy or willy-nilly, but that in true meekness, we should recognize that all power finally rests in spirit. To be meek is to be humble before the truth. A person is truly meek or humble when he looks upon the grandeur of a mountain or the vastness of the ocean or thinks about the bigness of things. He does not become lost in this bigness or this grandeur, but he does stand in awe of it. And when he does this, something deep within him responds. Something within him embraces the ocean. Something within him melts into the mountain, and he becomes one with them. This is true meekness. We don't need to give up our rights when we move from entitlement to humility, but we do need to see everything in a bigger context. So when you and I are struggling with something that seems like control or entitlement issue, what I suggest is that we stop saying, "This is what I want," and we ask the question, what wants to happen here? Then we're opening up to the power of spirit that can give an answer that we cannot get when we are I can't think of a word, when we are in our ego. Let's do it that way. And as you and I move from fear to curiosity, we find that we have made friends with those things that once threatened us. As we replace our attachments with letting go and letting God, we experience a deeper love and respect for the things and the people that we cherish. As we can turn our control into trust, we allow our life to be spirit-driven and find in that trust a greater peace, harmony, and joy. And as we release our entitlement, our need to be special, we move into that true humility that allows us to stand in awe of our life, everything and everyone within it. And that's what moves us from ambition to meaning. Thank you. Namaste.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sitting back here. I'm sitting back there going, oh boy, do I feel called out today. I'm also thinking, you know, I don't know that we have an issue here with people being in their chair. But I think we do have an issue with people being on their side of the room. And guess what? If you claim that chair, that's your chair, that's going to be your chair forever. Guess whose chair it's always going to be? Yours. Where's the room for a new person to come in and help us grow? Huh? What you think about, you bring about. Okay, let's stand. That's my big little thought for today.
And when Rick says, what will the neighbors think? You're taking the trash out in your bathrobe. I'll say it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Because they have the same bathrobe hanging up on their door, don't they?
You're going to take the trash out at 6 in the morning.
All right, let's play. Here we go.
Swing wide the door, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors on this heart of mine. Again. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors on this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. About lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors on this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors on this heart of mine.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, it's time for our offering. And our offering affirmation is on the left-hand side of the inside of the bulletin. So let's share that. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
So blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
And again, we thank you so very much for all of your generosity in so many varied ways. That allows us to be a beneficial presence here in this little piece of heaven we call Amato. So, by the way, have you seen the lizards? John told me this morning that they have discovered that I am the keeper of the lizards, and I won't let anything happen to them, so they all live here. And that's just about true. I have always loved lizards. I don't know why, but I do. I love bats, too, so. But I also love cats. So I'm not really weird.
Cats love to eat lizards.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so let's take a moment to close this portion out in prayer, and then do please join us, especially if you're new, first or second time. I want to welcome back Jilly. Jilly was here before me, so and she has recently moved to Green Valley, so we're trusting we'll see more of her. Thank you. Okay, so again, let's close this out in prayer and then meet to talk. I know that there is one mind, one life, one divine intelligence. And the attributes of this intelligence are love, truth, beauty, joy, peace, harmony, abundance. And you and I, being made in the image and likeness of this intelligence, hold these attributes as our own. So in our search for meaning, we look to those attributes and allow them to spread through us out into the world so that we are truly a light that benefits all people. We speak our word for anyone experiencing any kind of a challenge, and to know that that power and presence, that divine intelligence, is right there. I give thanks for the opportunity to share my life. I love my life, and I love my life because I love you. And I just know that together we are creating a world that is harmonious and peaceful, that is joy-filled, because each one of us brings those attributes into the world through us. So I release these words into the divine mind, knowing that it is good and very good, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you, and can we stand and sing Stand?
there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new